Hi, beautiful Libras. Welcome to your July reading with me, Marianne, from Marianne's Mystic Mentions. Thank you very much for tuning in. And if you're new, a special thank you. I am a intuitive, psychic, tarot reader. I love all the divinations. I try to incorporate them in some capacity, on a basic level, and talk a lot about just the beautiful spiritual and mystical things that happen in life every single day. Some are seen, a lot are felt. I'm hugely passionate about energy. The gloves represent color and the energy that color brings, and in correlation with our wonderful chakras in our body. So I like to start my reading by doing a chakra check. And that's just to kind of keep you and let you know what Spirit wants you to know. For the month of July, I read every single month. And if you like what you're seeing and you feel a resonance with a lot of people that have and have been very, very kind and generous with me, and I thank you for that, please do like and subscribe, because that's how YouTube's going to keep this channel going. And that's really the most important thing, the long and the short of it, okay? In order for me to keep doing this, it's kind of be up to you and how many people want to see it, okay? And it's free, and it's just a really nice gesture. So thank you in advance, and we'll get on with the reading. So I start, like I said, with the chakra check, and basically I just read for the 8 chakras, although I only picked one specific that I work in connection with Spirit at all time. And the last one was the heart chakra. So I'm going to put this behind my back in a simple manner and do a little shuffling and just talk a little bit about July. Because you know what? I'm a Libra too. And I have great aspirations about July for us. Like, it's always been a good month for me. I don't know. I mean, I have a lot of different planetary placements that may not be like a lot of the Libras watching. This is a general reading, but I do highly recommend that you watch your sun, your moon, your rising or ascendant, and your Venus. I even say Mercury, because coincidentally enough, we are heading into another Mercury retrograde in the month of July. In fact, I'm reading this on June 29th. I've got another day or so. I'm trying to get these readings out in a timely manner. And the shadow period, which happens on either side of any retrograde or Mercury, it doesn't matter what planet. And in July, we have 4 planets that are retrograde. Well, one has already started last month. That's the Pluto in Aquarius retrograde. It's a further planet. It's further out. We do feel it anytime there's any planetary movement. We all feel it, whether we realize that's what we're feeling or knowing what it is. That's where I come in. Or hopefully I can simplify it and make some relatively easy explanations and not feel like you're overwhelmed by what I'm saying, hopefully. And just, yeah, it's kind of wonderful and cool to have that knowledge and think, oh, okay, I wasn't sure why I was feeling that way, because I wasn't feeling that way last month, and that sort of thing. But yeah, there are 4 retrogrades. So I'll read them off quickly. Saturn goes into retrograde in Aries, as does Neptune, both in Aries, which changed earlier in the year, and it's going to go back into Pisces, and then it'll go direct again next year, I think around April in both situations. Neptune will be in Aries for 14 years as of 2026. And then Saturn, it's a shorter lasting, it goes through the planets quicker. It is what is known as a personal planet. And that is the taskmaster, right? That's what keeps us on track, man. That is like, we're going to, cut back maybe and just kind of be a little more structured. We're going to be taking things a little more seriously. It's a time-related planet, so sometimes we feel a little bit older in some ways, or things are like, oh man, I don't have the energy I thought I did. And I'm not trying to put any kind of a negative slant, because when you get through, and another example would be like you're going to take a course in college. You're going away, for the first time, you just graduated. Yes. You got to put your, nose to the grindstone if you really want to, excel and you want to exceed. I mean, that's kind of the thing. And I love that we have that beautiful support from the nature and the universe guiding us. And sometimes it's so incredibly perfect in our lifetime for that to happen. Maybe you're about to be a parent for the first time. It's important that you really just focus on those very important informative years, right? With your children, and you're like, okay, planning the school these days for preschool, like well in advance. Those are the things that come up to me. And maybe you can relate to just those two examples. But so yes, those two planets will be in retrograde. Mercury, excuse me, I don't know what's going on with the throat chakra right now. Excuse me. Mercury is going to be in Leo, and it actually starts the retrograde on July 17th. But as I mentioned, there is a shadow period really starting tomorrow, which is the 30th of June. So yeah, you'll notice little tweaks that affect Mercury specifically, like transportation perhaps, maybe a little extra detours you're noticing, slowdowns, maybe needing to check up on your car. I don't know, get a new one, that sort of thing. Don't really recommend buying anything. Forgive me. Yeah, I don't recommend buying anything if you can help it, but I had to buy my last car during a retrograde. Oh, yeah, I did. And the thing is I was on a mission because I had no choice. And yeah, there were some unusual circumstances that occurred and some changes like they talk about if you do sign a contract or buy, anything electrical like a new phone and that sort of thing. If you can put it off, do. If you can't, it'll be fine. Mine worked out great in the end, but it was just a little... Yeah, you just have to be very patient and realize that life goes on. We've been dealing with this for a long time, okay? And you may not even be affected by this at all. So it affects transportation, communication, and technology. I can imagine that next month when I'm doing August's, readings, it's probably going to be a little bit, I may have to do a few repeats, and that's fine. It's happened many, many times. I've been doing this for years. So stick with me and just know that you're going to be fine. And the best thing I think is great about because the Mercury retrogrades tend to happen at the same time every year as well, give or take, a week or two or so forth. I love the July one because it's usually vacation time. So when things are slowed down or, you have to wait a little extra time and there's an overlap and a delay, maybe even a cancellation in a flight, it's not the end of the world. You'll get there. You just, once again, just taking it easy and being flexible and kind of just enjoying life in the moment, saying, oh, well, because that happened, I was able to go and do a little shopping. I got this incredible deal. I'm serious. There are amazing little beautiful nuggets that happen with Mercury retrograde. It's not all doom and gloom whatsoever. But, communication too. Just make sure you're double checking your emails and, making sure you're sending them to the right ones and also right people, circumstances, and also just the verbiage can be a little bit disconnected. It certainly happens with me on a regular basis, but it certainly does during retrogrades. And then it ends on August 11th. So I would say the day of and a couple days before and after are the most notable. Otherwise, you get used to it and you're swimming through it, and before you know it, it's over again. So those are important things to say. The other really important thing is that there's a lot of Venus energy happening, and that's beautiful because you are ruled sign by Venus, and Venus is money and love and beauty, and we had a hugely long retrograde year in general with a lot of the planets, and it was a little unusual because Venus went into retrograde, a ruling planet, for an extended stay. And then a lot of things that you loved and the people that you wanted to be around, maybe, or the money just wasn't coming in, and it's just really, it was a little, disheartening at times, no doubt. It turned itself around. I'm pretty sure you can honestly say that, and I hope you'll see way more of it, because Jupiter, the planet, the benevolent planet that's in our signs every 12 years, has gone into Cancer. And Libra, that is your 10th house of fame and fortune and recognition, and it's absolutely beautiful. And it's just going to build and expand to the extent that you want. What are you wanting? Put that out there because, be careful. Be careful what you ask for. This is a great, wonderful placement for Jupiter. And it'll last a full year. So in closing about the astrology, because I know a lot of people are like, get to the reading. And I will. I'll be pulling 6 cards, past, present, and future, with clarifications for you. And finishing with an oracle message, okay? And in closing, I do want to say the other important thing is that Venus is actually in Cancer right now, in addition to beautiful, Jupiter. So, but that changes, I think, July 4th, like the first week, and goes into Gemini. Gemini is very, very compatible with you, even more so than Cancer, to be honest. It's your fellow air sign. And Gemini is all about action and fun. And, they're like, I want to do this and talk about that. And I want to be out and sociable and all that. And if you've been a homebody like Cancer can be, and that's not a problem, it's not a bad thing. I've been a major recluse and I don't know, way too long. It's time to step out and have yourself some fun. And I can feel it, and I know you can too. And I almost am positive that's going to show up in your reading. I'm getting that vibe. Now, I had a talk with you before your reading, as I always do with every sign. And I love purple, and I always have, but purple in color and vibrational manner represents our higher powers of intuition and psychic abilities, and they're on point, okay? We have Cancer in the mix, which is very much about that. Water tends to be very conducive for the energy of all the clairs, the clairsentience, clairaudience, clairvoyance, psychic abilities, dreams. My dreams have been very interesting. I think yours will be too. I would be remiss not to mention, though, that the eclipse season now for the next, through mid-2026, it's always usually about 18 months total. It's already been gone, and we already had our first series in the March time of North Node Pisces, South Node Virgo. We already went through our South Node in the last 18 months. North Node Aries, South Node. We've been through a lot. There's been a lot of changes, a lot of transformation in all of our areas, and it's not stopping. This year is crazy wonderful. It's a 9-year. It's about just shedding and moving and changing and transforming to the best possible life. It doesn't matter what age category you are. If you're starting your life, starting your schooling, ending, retiring, in the middle somewhere. I'm kind of in the middle still. I just want to say that there's just so much opportunity. It's really beautiful. And the messages I was getting is that you're very much in tune with your beautiful gifts. And hence the purple for sure. I brought out the lighter one. So that's between the third eye, the crown chakra, and the eighth, which is the omnipotent, all inclusive, all connected energy. Yeah, you're going to be knowing things just like instantly. And you're just like, yeah, how did I know that? Well, Uranus enters Gemini, and it's it's been in Taurus, and that has not been the easiest, even though it's also a Venus ruled for us. But when it's in Gemini, man, that's our 9th house. That is just dreams and travel and just making our life exactly what we've been thinking and believing and working towards for so very long. And generally, and in this case as well, Uranus stays in a planet or a sign for 8 years. And that's starting on the 4th of July, okay? I can just tell you that, as a fellow Libra, there's a lot of things that have been probably more difficult than we would have ever thought. And, we want to keep our peace, we want to be happy, and we choose to not let things get the best of us. But I feel like they've gotten the best of me in a lot of ways. I feel like you may have been right in line with me in that regard. Let me know. Please confer with me. Please share with me if you choose to, because this is what this channel is about. It's my tribe, people that get and understand what I'm speaking of, and that have a resonance and feel it literally, just feel it within themselves and in the energy and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm going to put these chakra cards behind my back and just do a little shuffle. Hopefully that made sense in a lot of ways, and hopefully it wasn't too much overkill, but it's all very important and all happening in the month of July. So thank you for your time. And you can always fast forward if you just want to get to your reading. There's always that, but I would love and appreciate you helping me with the channel, as I want very much to grow and continue to evolve. And the only way that can really happen, I have to step it up and do certain things. I know that. I'm learning that. It's slow, but I'm going to allow a time to do so, which I've been wanting for a very long time, but I have to wait for things to fall into place, and it's happening now. And there was a lot of delay, and it's certainly going to be a little bit more delay, but this is the time to really think. If you're in the same position where you're like, I know this big transition's happening, I have a couple of choices, not sure the exact answer just yet. You will definitely know by your birthday season, September 22nd through 22nd, September 22nd through October 22nd. It's Libra season, and there's a lot that's going to have changed, and I think you're going to feel so much better. And there you go. This was just there. I've been shuffling it behind my back, and this is the 8th chakra. Am I right about that? Because I do mix it up with the one right behind it, which looks pretty similar, right? This is more of a blue. That would be the 7th. This is the 8th. Like I said, the you're feeling the connectedness like never before. Bring it, universe, bring it. I want to see, I want to feel, I want to be out. I want to be more verbal. I want to be more expressive. I want to be seen. I don't want to be limiting myself or, trying to dim my light in any way. I'm done. I'm happy. I want to genuinely and authentically be the person that I am here to be in this life. The 8th chakra, all that my soul has ever been and will become, rests gently in this moment. My soul-filled power is here now. The importance of that is the now, because this is when we are at our most potent and our most powerful. And 8 in numerology is extremely powerful and abundant number. So I love the number 8. I love 17, which equals 8. I don't know why. I'm going to be a grandmother for the first time, just as a side note, and I am ecstatic about it. Let me just put it out there. I didn't think it was going to happen. It is. And my grandson, name unknown yet, but he will be born in September, so it looks pretty promising. He will be a Virgo. It could be, if he's late, it could be changed. But I'm anticipating, and I'm putting it out there now, and I'm recording this so you know. I'm feeling the 17th. I thought the 19th, which is my dearest neighbor of 20 years that I lost not quite 2 years ago now. But yeah, she also comes to mind. She's amazing, beautiful Virgo woman. And she's still around, trust me. But 17th. Okay, so let's go on with the reading. But before I do, I wanted to, and I didn't do that last time. Wow. I always add the necklace, and I didn't do that for Virgo. But that's okay. I forgive myself, and we'll keep it moving. I did explain that what I like to do is correlate the crystal that goes with the chakra. And actually, it doesn't come with my little set here of beautiful cards. But what it does do is talk about the... is it in here? No, basically, the wording itself is all you need for there. The crystal that works with and I'm using for the 8th chakra is the amethyst. One of my favorites always. I'm surrounded with it. It is one of the most healing, beautiful, psychic enhancement type of crystal. There's all different forms and shapes. They're all over the place. I don't know how far the camera's actually showing you. You can see my little family there. I always keep one in my pocket when I'm doing my massages for people and Reiki sessions. It's a phenomenal, beautiful crystal. So I'm going to stick that in here and infuse the reading for you, okay? And just to say, I hope you're already feeling really good. I had a beautiful, really fun time being with friends I hadn't been with for a while. I'm trying to tie up loose ends. There's a lot to do. So we have the moon in Virgo as I'm recording this, and that's about that. Let's get some planning done, because I got a lot of things I know are coming up in my near future, and you may be experiencing this very thing. So this energy right now with the moon like that, and the moon is the aspect of us that definitely feels the deepest about things, our deepest dreams and aspirations and things like that. Sometimes that only we know about. But, when we have someone in our lives, and I know we all do, that we care greatly about, if that compatibility is there with the moon, you've got, and that kind of is a segue to my new series I'm going to do, which isn't new at all. I've been doing it forever, and I did it 5 years ago on YouTube. And I'm going to bring it back because it's just about the love series and the compatibility between people. It's uncanny and it's phenomenal. And so I'm going to do that, but stay tuned, okay? And like I said, like, share, subscribe, whatever you can do, and push that notification bell, and then you'll be able to see when I upload these beautiful, beautiful series. It'll be for every single sign and all 12 of the signs, and the compatibility and what's happening in that situation with those particular relationships. And it doesn't all have to be romantic, okay? I'm just going to do a couple more shuffles. I've definitely shuffled, and I always bless my decks. And I always ask for clear and concise messages from Spirit, and I will be given extra, like I said, intuitive hits for sure, and I'll bring those up as well. So past, present, and future, I'll lay it out for you and talk about what I'm seeing, and if something more comes in, I'll also mention that in addition to the meaning of the cards. And these are the beautiful Gilded Tarot deck that I've had a long time and I love. I've always loved the feeling of them. I do readings in person. You can check below for the link at Pure Massage Therapies. I'm keeping it simple. If you're interested in reading, contact me and I will respond, and we'll talk about all your needs and the costs and all that. I like to keep it simple. So this is the recent past or past that led to this reading. Could be as recent as this morning. And you have the Queen of Swords. Well, there you are. Wow, you're in your power. I'm not surprised. It makes a lot of sense. And once again, you know, this power of your visibility is very, very obviously transforming as well, because we have, like I said, Jupiter in Cancer, which is your 10th house of fame and notoriety and noticeability. So people are going to find you more attractive, or you're going to be needed. You're going to be asked to step up and take maybe leadership roles. There's a lot of things that come with this. And it's exciting because a lot of things had slowed down for a lot of Libras, myself included. It's just happening in the world. Very, very cool. Now, we're straightforward. We're an air sign. You know, we're cerebral. We tend to think too much at times. It's true. You want to definitely ask your heart to step up. And with the Cancerian energy, for all of us, it's definitely going to do that. And it's making me very emotional and very much centered about my heart. And remembering that's what matters the most. Family, friends, you know, work relationships. All of that matters. And when they're not working, you know it's time to remove yourself. Please let go. You did so much of that with the South Node in your sign last year and for, 18 months. Boundaries and those sort of things are coming up to mind too. But there you are, and if not you, it certainly is the Aquarian energy, the Gemini, which I made it very clear is a very powerful one happening. And then Venus actually goes into Gemini on the 4th of July. So very compatible energy, something that hasn't been that much, although we make it work, we can get along with anybody can. This is just a lot easier. So clarifying that for you is the Two of Wands. You have some really important changes and decisions to make. And you have a couple of options, and it's not surprising. And you're going to weigh them out and you're going to think about them like we all do. And we're known for, being indecisive. Not at all. We just take our time and we look at every single angle and aspect. And then we make that choice and we stick with it. Unless something comes else around that, is necessary as well, because our lives are always evolving. We're always making changes, and I've been pretty steadfast. This is my 24th year as a massage therapist. I still want to do it, but I'm basically starting to retire a little bit, is I guess the word. It's hard to even say, but it's okay. It's okay. And yeah, so and then incorporating more of my artistic side and more readings and yeah, just passionate things, So that's happening. That's the Wands. They're the fire. They're the Leo. We're entering to Leo season, That'll be on the 20th of July. That's so beautiful for you. Fire and air, come on. Power couples, power everything. Friends. Very, very, very beautiful energy together. And also knowing that, yeah, you hold the key always, but just know it's a favorable time. It's a favorable time. I'll leave it at that. I love this a lot. You're feeling strong and I think you're being really honest with yourself. I really do. And it's a good time to do this. So the present energy and message is the Queen of Wands. Okay, well, this is like, it's happening, okay? Because the Queen of Wands are the fire once again. It's the Leos, the Aries, and the Sagittarians. And I mean, they get what they want. There's usually a little black cat in the Rider-Waite-Smith. In my opinion, it's a crystal ball. And it's like, what am I wanting to manifest? Because that's where we're going, and that's what's happening. That's how much power and strength. And, Leo is no joke. They are the leaders. They are very much about, being seen and heard. They're ruled by the sun. They're power. They're fun. They're energetic. They're passionate and sensual and sexy and just, it's fun. It's summer. The weather's long, hotter. The days are longer. Oof. I'm thinking travel too, especially with the 9th Uranus going into Gemini in your 9th house. I mean, even if it's in the mind, traveling, imagining, but I think you're really going places and you haven't for a while. It could be neighborhood or just, stay, vacation, but that's important for you. Please, Libra, get out and do that. Try not to make excuses if you're used to just being at home and you come home from work like myself, but weekends happen. That's when I work on the weekend too, but not every day. Time to motivate out there. You don't know what's opening. There's a lot out there. It's a big, huge world, come to find out. So the clarification for the Queen of Wands is the Four of... Okay, so the Four of Swords. All I can say about this right off the bat and intuitively wise, it hit me really hard. You want to do a lot. You've been feeling stifled for a while. There's good reason for that. When Saturn and Neptune were in Pisces for 14 years with Neptune, but for the Saturn, it was 18 months. It just ended in March when it went into Aries, and it's going to go back into Pisces for a little while. That's our 6th house as a Libra. It's our everyday, it's our, balance in this, and what are we doing? Are we putting out too much energy? Are we receiving enough back? Is it that balance that, the Libras are always, we represent the scales. And when it's off, let's face it, we feel it probably more than any other sign. And so there was always this drive and this striving to do that. It's also knowing when to stop. It's also knowing when to rest. God forbid you ignore the signs and the little whispers until they become screams in the body, as it were. Because you don't want to be ill. And I never want to be ill. And believe me, I've had my share of that. And I'm so amazed at times how we get through what we do, but that's this beautiful, magnificent body that we have, this temple. And when we really care and cater to it, it will cater for us, allowing this time for downtime, allowing that time to rest when you're tired. My sleeps have been different. I don't sleep that long. They can be good, but sometimes with any moon, I tend to not have, I am an insomniac that way. And I just need to make up for it the next day because my job is quite physical as a massage therapist. And I'm happy, I love it. But it's, take care of yourself, please. That's what this would be saying. Your vitality, you're just like, you want to burn the candle at both ends because there's these flowing of juices. Pisces in the North Node, Virgo in the South, North Node Pisces, creativity beyond, that's coming through our pores, and this sensuality and this sexual... caring and compassion, all of these feelings are so real and so, visceral, and just it's really great, but just find that balance, okay? And then the future message, 10 of Swords. That's right. I'm one of those people. I'm changing my time for the new cycle. It's been a long time coming, and I will deal with anything. If I have a purpose and a goal in mind, I will make sure that I'm going to make that happen. And I've dealt with a lot. We all do. It's not, woe is me. It's like, there's challenges that come around you would never imagine, right? You're thinking, why is that happening? Don't ask why anymore. Just know that you're going to be fine. You will get through everything. It's the time to change. Everything is starting new. In some capacity, every Libra is going to have something new. So I mentioned my new grandson. I mean, I'm just, if that isn't life altering, I don't know what is. And that's for the rest of my life. And, you know, that's, I don't even know how long that is, but that's, yeah, you're done. You've been hurt and stabbed or whatever. This is a better, decent interpretation, I must say, visually. But that's the future. That's where you're heading. That's what's needed to be done. You've been preparing for this. You deserve everything and more. And I always put that out there as well in my gratitude logs, in my meditations. I'm like, I would like the best and better. The rest of my life is the best of my life. Clarification on that. Oh, it couldn't be more clear. It couldn't be more clear. You're done and you're ready to move on because there have been things that have been done that have been underhanded or supposedly behind your back, like you didn't recognize or pick up on it, but of course we do. And it was so much needed because I'm someone that will just, I'll stick it through. I will. I mean, I'm really sensitive. I pick up on a lot of feelings and energies. But in many ways, I feel like, well, it was a bad day, months. Nope. You're seeing things in a different perspective, if nothing else. You're recognizing there's different ways to go about it. You don't need to go through suffering anymore. You don't need to be the person that's, you know, the brunt of people's moods and so forth. You know what I'm saying. And ironically, these are all swords. So it's all about your energy. Started with you, and you're realizing the things you think about, the things you want to not think about anymore. You want to completely alleviate it and remove it from your energy field. And I love that it ends that way in the future because that's where you're heading, that direction. All of this is not going to happen anymore where you're going. Okay, we're going to conclude as well with a oracle message because it's necessary. And this is the, which I love, the Wisdom of the Hidden Realm oracle deck by Colette Baron Reed. She's got great decks. I aspire to have a deck one day, and I'm gonna definitely design one, and it's gonna have a lot of purple. I know this, but it's a very spiritual color too, and I think it's very appropriate. But it'll have more than just that. I will have that artist that I will know and meet, and we'll collaborate. And I'm excited about that. And there's just so much. But this is a great deck. And yeah, just know you're just beginning, Libra. You're just beginning in any phase of your life. And I love that we have that. I looked back, I was writing down all the jobs I've had. You don't even want to know. You wouldn't believe it. I'll write a book, maybe. I've done a lot. I really have. I'm so glad I have. And I'm aging, you know, as we all are. And I'm thinking, okay, and now I know it's like, I don't ever want to stop, but I just want to really enjoy and what is the word? I just want to grasp it and just absolutely appreciate and just fully immerse myself in a bubble of appreciation and gratitude for everything in every moment because they're so fleeting. So your message, I'm going to pull a couple actually because it's just showing you, and this will definitely culminate the reading, knowing that you are well on your way to releasing the things that have stopped you or created, you know, this disharmony, which you've never liked anyway, and feeling really happy and knowing this, I know what to do now. I know how to make that work. And you have Gaia's garden, fruition, abundance, reaping what you sow. Okay, it's 18. That's 8. 1 and 8 is 9, and that is the year we're in, the 9 year, which is, you know, releasing, shedding, letting go. There's so many changes astrology-wise that we're all being affected by. It's been a lot. But when we get through this, it's just like, I'm a new me, right? I mean, there's always that soul that's still very much who you are and why you're here and what the purpose and so forth. But you get the point. Isn't that gorgeous? It wasn't without, you know, some peaks and valleys. We'll put it that way. But it's been it'll be worth every moment. You'll know that, and you'll feel that, and you're like, oh, that feels so good. That feels so good. Because when you leave and you're in the next life and whatnot, whatever you believe in, you've released that. You've lightened your load. You don't want to go into another life or anywhere with that in. You want to forgive and release and keep moving. So I'm going to do your second message. Actually, there's 3. Is there? Yes. Well, that's what you're getting. So a little longer reading. The Diamond Dreamer, material wealth and true prosperity. Yes, thank you. Now, I don't really, who am I kidding? I never really imagined myself as being like a multi-billionaire or anything, and that's okay, but I definitely know I'm worth way more than I think I've given myself credit for. And energy is continuous. It's like it's unlimited. So it's a mindset. Allow that in, manifest it, man, make that happen. And then the last but not least, the Lady of the Mirror, reflection, non-judgment. How about that? 44, which equals 8, the power of the abundance. What about looking at yourself and saying, man, I love you. You are amazing. And I am so grateful to be me. I hope your July is incredibly transformative and loving and passionate and fun and prosperous, okay? And do let me know. And I hope to see you or feel you in August readings. Until then, take great care. Bye for now.